Hi. It's really great to be here today. Thank you everyone for your time. It's particularly great to be in Helsinki. I have a couple of Finnish investors, so it's great to come and spend time here. I'm invested in by a guy called Christian Sigerstrail, and in fact, it's to him that I owe most of this presentation, because a lot of it is based on a blog post that he wrote about brand advertising. Now, Christian had a pretty enviable and interesting career. He founded Macrospace or Glue, he then founded Playfish, he then invested in Supercell and was on the board. So he saw a lot of very big successes, and one of the things that he had seen from building those successes was the importance of brand advertising, of building brand advertising into your models. And really the single idea is that as well as CPI and metrics, performance-based advertising being very, very important to you, if you really have a big aspiration, then you should also be considering the effect of brand. So before I go into the full presentation, I want to tell you a little bit about LoopMe. LoopMe as a business is a mobile video DSP and ad network. Now, what that means that we do is that we connect into all the different sources of supply to run video advertising. And our video ads are now the biggest scale globally. We just press released that we can actually reach 1 billion consumers worldwide through video. And we also allow ourselves the ability to do detailed, granular targeting and retargeting. So we overlay the ability to go down to an individual level or a segment level to target or retarget users. This allows you to build a better lifetime value for your customers and to re-engage them. So, coming on now to the topic, it's about brand advertising. And I think one of the first things to think about is to take a look at adverts from people like King and how they do them, and some of the elements they build into their brand ads. I'm going to run a Candy Crush ad in a second that I'm sure a lot of you would have seen before. And I want you to consider that it's not just showing gameplay, it's not just telling you about the product, it's actually building an empathy between the consumer and various elements of the product, the characters of the product, which will aid, as I will point out shortly, all the different elements of a conversion funnel and have its own contribution. So this is the ad from King.
The sweetest game just keeps getting sweeter. Candy Crush Saga. Download now.
So there's all sorts of references to the game, but only about 1 second at the end where you're actually looking at the game. So they've gone away, they've resisted the idea of just showing gameplay. They've built an emotional connection instead into the characters, into the elements of gameplay and the excitement that creates. Now, that, in the words of Christian, who, as I say, has run these different, he also was an EVP at EA at some point and has analyzed these things in detail, leads to a greater ROI story. If you look at this chart here, and you can find this complete blog post on loopme.biz, which is our website, under the blog, you look at this chart here, you can see the classic model of profitable UA has a saturation point based upon showing people the same ads again and again and again and again, whilst using some kind of brand activity over and above that allows you to move that saturation point further, allows you to have a larger appeal for your game and therefore a bigger scale ultimately. And that ultimately leads through into profit. And you can measure that. You can measure that. Now, whether or not you are a very large player spending, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, or a small player, you will have an opportunity to create brand messages. And I'll talk in a second about those and put them in two different buckets of push and pull messages. But the thing to think about is, how does your conversion funnel work? And Christian uses some very plain language in the blog post to explain this. But basically, you're going through a channel that starts with awareness of your game or product, moving through into interest, actually conversion and starting to pay. and then ultimately lifetime value growth and optimization throughout that whole funnel using data. And brand advertising has the ability especially to affect the two first parts of the funnel around awareness and interest. Now, a uniqueness of LoopMe is that we run full-screen HTML ads globally, and we can run those on a user acquisition basis. So where you can't get a video to play in some markets because of the size of the files, etc., we can run a full-screen ad which is HTML. That can have up to 200% lift on your performance. Now, I'm sure you can imagine that could help you get over some problems. I'm going to show you one of those now. If you look at the Bubble Witch ad, it has some very, very simple animation. And that is, the bubbles are moving, the witch has moved into the area. Those small and simple animation pieces can have a very, very big effect on the overall lift. And LoopMe is unique in providing that with global reach, or providing video and learning which ad engaged this consumer right now. Should I start with a plain interstitial? Should I do an HTML? Should I do a video interstitial? Should it be an incentivized video interstitial? And we can deliver all those experiences with targeting. I've put the two different categories here of advertising to show the difference between push and pull. Pull advertising, you have a consumer who is engaged and wants to discover your product. Maybe you've created pages on Wikia. Maybe you have a YouTube channel. Anyone can do this, whatever size you are, however small your business is. You could also be running click-to-play ads where users can discover your content who want to engage with it, maybe using longer formats where people can discover it. That's the pull advertising. And then, of course, there's push advertising. And we've seen that full-screen formats are much, much more effective than banner ads. They're usually at least 10 times more effective. And by moving to video or HTML, you get even greater effect. So this has created the awareness, or as Christian puts it, the what's this moment, if you like. How do you then convert that into actually trial or conversion and paying? Well, the next stage, if you like, is the kind of, I love this, I've got to check this out, or the interest level. And here again, this is going to be a lot down to the quality of your product, but how it's also perceived by people. How many stars rating do you have within the app stores? Also, if you're looking at social endorsements, what are people saying on Twitter? What are people saying in blog posts? What are the journalists talking about it? Again, LoopMe has an innovation here where we actually take tweets or endorsements or comments about games, which could even come from journalists. We put those into adverts, and then we run a multivariate optimization to work out which segments are attracted by ads that include endorsements. Again, doing creative things, but to also allow you to build a better engagement with your user. So then from the point of, I love this, I have to check this out, you need to get to paying customers. And Christian makes the point, ideally, every single dollar you spend would only be spent against paying customers. Now, if you're someone like Rovio, you can monetize non-paying customers through adverts. I realize that's a complex decision for you. Some of you will jump at the chance of that and see that as a benefit. Others will want to not take that model. So ultimately, you're moving to the point where you get a conversion and then a repeat purchase, a purchase and a repeat purchase. This area has been very well exploited by freemium. I actually wish that more products were freemium. I wish that I only paid lots for the clothes I wore all the time and not the one that I didn't wear. So I'm actually a big fan of premium. I would love freemium to be in more parts of our world. Of course, it's also had a little bit of cynicism from the press, and I couldn't resist playing this South Park's view on the gaming business model as a little bit of light entertainment.
They see through the charade. You think so? I think they see through the charade, yes. I'm pretty sure they can hear us, too. All right, f*** it. You've seen through the charade, so you might as well know everything. Charade up! Allow me to explain the science behind micropay freemium gaming. For years, the concept behind gaming was simple. You pay for the game and you enjoy. With mobile apps, we now have the ability to make games that are boring and stupid. But if you pay for incentives, you're rewarded. Freemium. The meum is Latin for not really. It's a simple cycle. A never-ending loop based on RPGs. Explore, collect, spend, improve. But whereas those just use the concept of XP XP or experience points, we've introduced the idea of micro-paying with money. Money, 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 money.
It's what everyone is doing. Freemium games are what's now, and it's all just a lot of harmless fun.
And so in conclusion, the successful freemium game is based on 5 principles. Entice the player with a simple game loop. Use lots of flashing cha-chings and compliments to make the player feel good about themselves. Train the players to spend your fake currency. Offer the players a way to spend real currency for your fake currency.
So they'll forget they're spending money.
And make the game about waiting. But let the player pay not to wait. It's a surefire way to make lots of money.
We understand micropaying, but can't the game hidden inside the charade just at least be fun?
No, no. It has to be just barely fun. If the game was too fun, then there would be no reason to micropay in order to make it more fun. What's this?
Your checks, of course, for 10 million American dollars each.
So this is... everyone is doing this? Everyone is doing it.
It's just the way things are going.
It's the way things are going. Well, I guess if everyone's just paying 40 cents at a time, it can't be that bad.
So you've spent a lot of time building a game. You've spent a lot of time acquiring users. You've even worked out which of those users are paying. What are you then going to do about the users who have lapsed? How are you going to entice them back into the game? Now, as a DSP, we can target on an individual user level. So you could create very easily segments of users based on lapsed or high value. You can then run a full screen video ad, not just a video ad like, for example, this one here from the likes of Supercell, but a video ad where you actually include the offer or the promotional period.
You got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
And what you can do is you can also target people with a promotional period. So let's say you have a Halloween promotion. Let your high-value users know about that Halloween promotion. Or you could even get down to an individual segment. You could understand that certain users like certain rewards and actually target them with a specific video message about those rewards. Because we have the ability to connect at massive scale, that's very easy for us. And ultimately, we can let you actually run your own promotions. We can actually give you the technology so the data never leaves your own hardware. So that's the LTD growth and targeting. And ultimately, this channel strategy that you're building should be optimized not just through segments, not just through things that we understand, but also through machine learning and real-time decisioning. And that's the layer that we've built on top. So you're learning for each individual customer what is going to get them to become not only a paying customer, but also a high-value customer. And that's a real-time learning thing. And this is also the way in which the market is moving in the future. There's a big word, programmatic buying. If you are working now just with an ad network and it's a closed ad network that's not open, it's probably going to have a big problem in a couple of years' time because the market now is moving. Procter & Gamble will put 70% of its money through programmatic buying. The whole market is moving to programmatic buying. What that means is open systems on both sides. So you're not, as a publisher, stuck with a single ad network. You are open to make your own decisions about how and where to monetize. And on the buy side, you need DSPs who have a strong understanding of great formats and great data. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. If you'd like to find out more, please do contact us via loopme.biz. Thank you.